Today topic is Azure Redis Cache. So Redis Cache is a cache implementation in Azure. It is distributed cache. It can be separate from your hosting server. Okay. So our project can host anywhere, and Azure Redis Cache will be separate from the hosting. Okay. So it is distributed cache, and we can access it from anywhere, like in web application, in API, in console application. From any .NET code we can access Redis cache. Okay, so it is open source, and we can also use it as a secondary database or message broker. It means when two applications are communicating with each other, so they can use Redis cache for sending and receiving the message from each other. So it is based on NoSQL concept, and data is stored in Redis cache as a key value pair, and it supports multiple data structures like string, list, dataset, and it is fast and it is scalable. So now we will go to Azure portal, and then we will create a Redis cache, and then we will see the steps to use that Redis cache in our project. Now we will create a Redis cache. So click on all resources and search Redis. So this one, Azure Cache for Redis. Select this one. Click on this create button. So this is for subscription. So if you are using free period tier, then you can select from here. So I am using paid subscription, and here you can select the resource group, or you can create new resource group. So resource group is basically for grouping the resources in Azure. So I can select existing any resource group like demo. Then we have to provide an unique name to this cache. So suppose I give this name Logiction demo. Okay, so this name is available. So name should be unique because it will be part of the URL, and it is suggesting me location of East US, and we can select the location as per our convenience. So I'm using this standard. So it will create 1 GB cache. 1 GB cache. Replication means it will be replicated in two places, primary and secondary. Okay.
Mm.
So limit is 1 GB cache, and it will be replicated in two locations. Now click on review plus create. So click on create button. It will take some time, and now we will see our application where we want to integrate. So this is a .NET Core Web API project, and we have employees controller, and there are certain methods like this get employees. It will return all the employees list, and we can access individual employee details by passing the employee ID here. So let us check this one. So our API will be API slash employees. It will give the complete list of employees records. It is giving the list of all the employees. Now we can uh, get list of some specific employee, like employee with ID 2. So this is the detail for the employee with employee ID 2. So similarly, we can get the details for all the employees. So we have a API which is displaying that which is retrieving the data for the employees. So we have two actions. One is for the list of all employees, and another one is the details of specific employee. Okay. So now what we will do, we will basically for the first time when request comes for a specific employee ID, so we will retrieve the employee from the database, and then we will store that employee in the Redis cache. Now again second time when the request comes for the same employee ID, in that case we will check whether this record is available in Redis cache. If the record is available in the Redis cache, then we will convert that data into employee object, and then we will serve the request without getting data from the database. Okay. So now again the request comes for some other employee ID, then we will check again if that employee ID is present in Redis case. If data is not present in Redis case, in that case we will retrieve the data from the database, and then we will serialize the employee object, and then we will store that employee object in the Redis cache. Okay. So using this approach, we will minimize the database hit. Now we will check our Redis cache. So it should be created now. So go to resources. So this one I have created Logixen demo. So cache is created now. Now we will do step by step process to implement this. So first of all, we will install this package in our project. These two packages we need to install through NuGet in our project. So first of all, we will install this package. So go to tools, NuGet package manager, manage NuGet package for solution. Click on browse. Select this one, caching Redis core. Now select the project. So I'm selecting API project and click on install button. So now this one is installed. I installed this new package. So this is the project where we need to install. That is, click on install. So now this is installed. Now third package is Newtonsoft.json. So this project is generally installed in the application. Okay. So if this is not installed, then you need to install this through NuGet package. So in my project, this is already installed. Now we need to store connection string in app settings.json. So Redis cache connection string. So we go to access keys. So this one we need to copy primary. So using this connection string, our project will connect to this Redis cache. So go to app settings. So key name could be anything, should be simple so that you can identify. And this is the connection string. Using this connection string, we can connect to this Redis cache in Azure. And this is the URL of the Redis cache. Now we need to configure the connection in the startup.cs file. So this is the code for connecting to this Redis cache. So go to startup.cs file, startup.cs. So we need to give this name as it is. Copy this one. So we are reading that connection string using this configuration object. Using this code, now we have a added connection to Redis cache, and now we can use this Redis cache in our project. So go to employees controller, and in the employees controller, so we need to pass the object so that we can access the Redis cache. So this is the namespace which we need to import. Okay. And now using the dependency injection, we will provide this. We will provide the implementation for this interface. So this is the input parameter for the constructor, and now we will initialize this private variable. So this object, distributed cache, it will be provided by .NET Core Runtime because .NET Core Runtime has inbuilt dependency injection. So using that inbuilt dependency injection, .NET Core Runtime will provide the object in the constructor, and in the constructor we are initializing the private variable from this parameter. Now we will change our code. So first of all, let us see the code. So this is the code for getting the employee. by employee ID. So this ID, this parameter is the employee ID. So we are basically calling the repository method to get the employees from the database based on the employee ID. Now we will add a check here to check in the Redis cache before going to database. So if data is available in Redis cache, then we will retrieve the data from the cache and we will respond to the client. Okay. If data is not available in Redis cache, in that case we will retrieve the data from the database and then store the data in the Redis cache, and after that we will respond to client. So here we will get data from Redis cache. Okay. So data is stored in JSON string format. So basically we are retrieving here string representation of the object. Now we will check if this string is empty or null. If it is not empty or null, then we will convert the object in employee object form. So we create a variable for, I think this variable is already created. This is already created. So we check if string is empty or null. If it is not empty or null, then we will deserialize this JSON string. So this is the JSON string, and now we will deserialize this JSON string using the Newtonsoft.json library, and it will give us employee object. So we have used generic method of this deserialize object. It will convert the object in employee object form. We are checking. We are checking if string is null or empty. If it is not null or empty, then we are deserializing the object in employee object form. Okay. After that, since data is available in cache and we have converted this in employee object, after that this code will execute. So this code will execute. So it is not null. So it will come here and it will return the employee object. Now we will implement else part. So if data is not there in cache, in that case, we will retrieve the data from the database. Okay. So data is not available in cache. In that case, we will come here and then we will retrieve the data from the database. Okay. So now EMP is the employee object which is retrieved from the database. Now we will store this object in Azure Redis cache so that for the next time we don't have to get it from the database and we can get that data straight away from the cache. So if object is not null, then we are calling this method set string async, and then we have added this employee ID. So its name would be like emp obj underscore 1 or 2 depending on the employee ID. Okay. So emp obj underscore 1 for the employee ID 1, emp obj underscore 2 for the employee ID 2. And now we are serializing this object in JSON format, and it will produce JSON string, and that string will be stored in Redis cache. So this is our complete code. So first of all, we have declared a variable of type employee with null, and then we have try to get the data from the Redis cache. If uh, if data is available, then this block will execute. It will deserialize that JSON string into employee object, and then we will serve the request. If data is not available in Redis cache, in that case, it will be retrieved from the database, and then we will store the data in the Redis cache. And then we will serve the request. Okay. Now we'll run this method. So this is a complete list of employees. Now we will request for a specific employee ID. Suppose 2. So employee ID is 2. So we have a retrieve from cache. So let us see. This is null. Okay. So no data is there in the cache. So else block will execute. It will retrieve from the database, and let us see the record. Yes, record is there. Then it will add this data in cache. So this is the record for the employee ID 2. Now we are sending the request again for the same employee ID. So it will check again in Redis cache. Now data is available. So you can see this is the JSON string. So data is available in cache. And now we will deserialize this JSON string into employee object. Now request for employee ID 3. So now we have requested for employee ID 3. So this is 3. And now so you can see this. What will be the sequence? Control Alt Q. So this will be the key. EMP OBJ underscore 3. Okay. And when employee ID will be 1, then EMP OBJ underscore 1. So this will be the key in the Redis cache. So using this key, basically it will be unique for all the employees because it contains the employee ID. Okay. So now for employee ID 3, record is not there. For employee ID 2, record is there. Okay. If this ID is 2, record is there. But if ID is 3, record is not there. In that case, we are retrieving from the database. And then we will construct this key. So this will be the key for the employee ID 3, and data will be stored in the cache against this key. Okay. So a record was not there in Redis cache. So we have retrieved from the database, and then we added into cache. Now again request for this employee ID 3. So again ID is 3. So now for this time we will look for the this key empobj underscore 3. And since in previous step we have added in cache, so it should be there. You can see for employee id 3 we have the data. So now we will deserialize in employee object, and that will be sent back to client.